Okay. Alright. What I got here is copper wire. I'm about to make a ring for you. Knuckle jewelry. First what I'm doing, take some wire. This right here is square wire. Take it out, measure me a piece off here, I'm gonna cut. For this particular piece, I am going to cut, I'm going to do 6 inches. While I'm at it, I'm going to take another one, do another one as well. Try and straighten it out a little bit. I'm going to use this one, the piece I just cut, to measure it. Normally I would set the red pliers that you just seen and set it to 6 inches. It's pure copper. So you know me normally making rings in sterling silver. I still do, but I've had a few requests saying, hey, why not think about trying to do it in copper? So hey, here it is. I'm going for it. You guys tell me what you think about that. So I got this nice little idea. I'm using my drill right here. I'm gonna grab me a pair of pliers. And so I discovered before, I had some square wires, some silver, and I, was just messing around, playing and put it in my drill. And I found when I twist it like this, it was probably a really cool design. And depending on how much you twist it, you can get, the different, like what I call a diamond cut. That's what I call it. Like this right here. So like that whole swirl, and this is really good. I've never done this in copper. I'm just starting this out in copper. So what I got here is that 6-inch piece. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and do a second one. Put that in there, and I'm just doing red a little bit in here. Not putting it all the way down there. Make sure it's nice and tight. I'm grabbing this in, I'm holding, applying the pressure, and this time I twisted that one counterclockwise. I'm going to twist this one clockwise, just to be a little different. And look at that. It's got a little, if you compare, even though I twisted, one has a little bit more twist to it, but they're close, right? So when I'm making my jewelry, my rings, I like them to be unique and things like that, and just try different things, and just give it a little pizzazz. So I'll normally just sit and do something different. Like I had no idea of taking this and putting it on a little anvil here. I'm going to actually, I'll put this up here so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to take, and what I think, instead of me hitting it with the flat end, I'm going to turn around and hit it with this a little bit. Now, alright, and maybe just finish it up with a little bit of the flat end. So wow, it gave it that little look like that. Now, right? Let me grab some other pliers over here. What am I feeling? You know what? Since I did that, let's take these round like needle nose pliers here. And it's flat like that a little bit. So let's, interesting. Let me grab on the side. I'm going to bend here. I'm going to come here a little bit. I want to try to see that. That like that. Now, if you see, one end is longer than the other, so this is there, and that I didn't mean for that to happen. I just grabbed the wire at a different place. But if you think something is a mistake, just try and figure out some way to make it look decent. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to pull this way. And by giving yourself 6 inches of wire, right, you give yourself some things to play around with, right? You got some room to make some designs. So I'm just bending, and there's nothing preset. I'm just doing something. So you see that right there? And it's got that little shine like that. So now that I have that defined, I'm going to put it right back on the anvil. I'm going to hit it a little bit, flatten that way, but then I'm going to take this part. So I'll take a little bit on the sides, flatten it just a little bit, to give it that kind of laid down look. Alright? And once again, it's just free flowing. However, whatever you feel. Now, if you're tired of me talking, I understand. So you can mute this part, or, just keep rocking with me. I appreciate you being here. So now, I take the mandrel, and this is actually, it's been beat up for all over the years, and some indentations and stuff. But this is where you lay it down, and then you decide your size. So I don't do made-to-order rings. Well, let me take that back. I've had requests and people want, but I typically, my inventory is stuff that I just sit here, put the music on, vibe out with, and just, make jewelry. I like to specialize in rings that are on the smaller side, and then on the larger side, rings that are typically traditional jewelry stores or don't have, for people with really small hands or hands that are a little bit larger, fingers. The smallest size that I've done for somebody is a 1, and the actual largest size that I've done was a 16. But right here, let me go ahead and bend this. So when I take and hold pressure there, and I bend this around, right? So, and then I'll slide it up. I want you to be able to see. I'll slide it up to where, I think that I want to make this one, right? So for this one right here, I'll go ahead and make this for like a 6. Now, with this ring design right here, I have room. I can stretch it out. I can bend it, even in the loops. So if I made it a 6 and then decided I want it to be like a 7, I can just open it up a little bit more. But what I'm going to actually do, I'll show you this right here. These will be cut off. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and cut that off so you can get a better idea of what I did right here. Alright. Take in there, and what I like to do is find the center, or what I like to be the center. Get in here and cut. Oh yeah, key, always save your scraps. Now I'll go right here and I'll cut it. So what I did was carry 2 flush cuts. You can see that right there. Right, I'll throw it on my hands. Look, my hands aren't ashes. This whiteboard right there. Yep, there. So make that. Now remember, I still haven't soldered this together, which I will do in another video, or maybe I'll come back and do it in this one. Solder this together, and then the next process, well, you know what, better than tell you, I might as well do it. Let's set this side right here, and let's get back to that second ring, leaving my scraps there. So for this one, let's see, let's do something. Take these pliers. I just like to be really creative. So here, I'm gonna grab this tip, and now this time I'm gonna actually look for the middle, and I'm gonna swirl this one a little bit. See if I could get that swirl in there. Bit of swirl. Then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to just grab this piece. I'm going to spin it back like that. Right? And if you feel like you messed up or overbent or whatever, just figure out a way just to try and make it work out. So I did that like that. Right? And what I'm going to do, you guys are going to be like, oh, this dude is obsessed with hammering. But I just want to get those, get to lay down a little bit. A little hammer. Right? That looks brilliant. I love that. You know what? This copper is really a thing. I'm so glad that I was, that it was brought up for me to try it out and do copper. Got a little lifting right here. You see that little lifting? But I'm still hold pressure. And that I'm going to do is take my, and you will hit your fingers like I just hit my fingers. Be careful though. So I got a little lifting here. So instead of hitting it with the metal one, I'm going to do the plastic. Get it to lay down a little bit. Alright. Put that right like that a little bit. Now I know I have terrible hands. I don't not. Get that on there. Alright. And just like the other one, I'll find my cutter right here. I'll find the center. And then I'll cut this in. Alright. Be careful too. You want to wear protective lenses or something like that when you're cutting and working, because it'll pop in your eye. So check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and solder them. Be right back. 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. What I'm going to do is put some gloves on. So the next thing is for the paste, the solder paste. Wait a minute. I put some gloves on now. I'm going to put solder paste to solder these rings together. So here is the paste right here. And this is the first time that I'm using this paste right here. So I don't know how it'll feel on my fingers or hands or whatever. So I'm actually going to take a little bit, take this right here. I'm just going to get very little bit of it. I guess that's not a little bit, and I'm actually going to put it right here on in the joint. Okay, then I'm going to do alright, like that. Let me go ahead and close this up. Set that to the side. Alright, so over here. And you're going this real time with me. So this is the first time I'm doing this, not pre-recorded, not tried before. Alright. So I'm going to clamp this here. if you hear a little motor or fan, that's this right here. I made a ventilation system so I don't inhale the smell of this stuff. And that's what this is right there. Picked up parts from Home Depot. Alright, so what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ahead and you go see it. Solder this together, these ends. Right. Right, it's really hot, so don't touch it. If you heard that, that's because I threw it in the water. Right, so I'm going to take this one right here and do the same thing and just solder this joint together. I seen that it was melting a little bit. Got to the, I like to squeeze it together. It's still hot, and it's sitting there. All right. So now I'll go back here. Turn that off. Move these to the side because those are still hot. See, got the little. Now what I'll do is I'll put this in some acid to clean it, like a pickling solution, and then we can see the end result. All right. Thank you.